So today, I happen to have somebody that I got the chance to meet with and got a chance to actually earn a certification alongside with in the pleasure of his own gym. I'm gonna let him talk a little bit about himself and talk about the facility and something that we both got planned coming very soon.
Yep. What's up, everybody? My name is Emilio. I am the owner of 720 Strength Lower East Side. I am 28 and I've been training, I think, for like 5 going on 6 years now. I got started with like all the unconventional strength stuff because I came from CrossFit when I was in college. I tore my knee, not related to CrossFit, not related to CrossFit. I tore my knee. And then when I got my knee back and rehabbed, I still liked training that way, but I found that my knee just like different positions. And so I started messing with like kettlebells and all that stuff. Ended up discovering sandbags, maces, kettlebells, and now the rest is history. So I train with everything. I train with everything pretty much.
You,
Yeah, so that's a little bit about
you
me.
have the unconventional heaven of New York City. I'll say that for sure. You literally have every piece of equipment that anyone who trains unconventional would want. You have all the sandbags, you have all the kettlebells, the maces, clubs, sandbag, everything, landmines now too. And now that we really
Yep.
appreciate it. So the certification that we there and how we met. So we both have a mutual friend, Tom. Obviously, you guys have heard me talk about this asshole multiple different times. Uh, love the guy to death. Love the guy to death. Which also, congratulations! Just recently, I know he just celebrated 3 years of the Strength Factory
Yeah.
being open. So
Yep. Yep.
salute to Tom. Salute to him over there. But yeah, we got a chance to earn a certification under the Landmine University together. And when I first walked into the gym, immediately my jaw dropped because I was just like, "Oh shit, this is literally exactly what the fuck I would want from my own gym. This is heaven for me."
Yeah.
And you got
Yeah. Yeah. We
everything.
we can add some stuff. Like our heaviest kettlebell is 150. Our heaviest mace, if you don't use the caddy, is like 25 pounds or something like that. You can go up to 80 if you know how to use the caddy rock. But
Ooh,
so we definitely have like some holes to fill. But
okay.
I'm pretty happy. We're a year and 2 months old. I'm pretty happy with the product that we have right now.
I mean,
And from when we started it now, it's just getting better.
from what yeah, I was about to say, from where you guys started, from the videos, I looked back deep into the 720 page,
Oh yeah.
the complete change, and also just how the atmosphere, and then also if you're an anime and a Dragon Ball Z fan, especially, you're gonna love this place too as well because that's
Yeah.
the first thing I walked in. I was like, oh yeah, this is definitely gonna be someplace I can get along with these people here. They got everything I like over
Yeah, it's interesting, right? When you become a business owner, you have a couple decisions that you can make. And I think one of the first ones is like, do you focus on profitability first, or do you like make the business represent your soul or like the things that you care about? And
there.
it might be off-putting to some people to have like Vegeta on the wall or something like that, but it might inspire somebody else. So David and I, that's my co-owner David, we made the decision to sort of go that soul route instead. And that's why we don't have like all these machines and stuff like that that you might see at like an Equinox or something like that. Like you said, we're the unconventional heaven. So we train there and we train our clients the way that we like to train, which is this way. And so we represent that. We've had to turn people around sometimes who are expecting something out of a gym and it's not what we have. We're confident in the product, but yeah, we had that decision early on. So
See, and I like that too because I mean, yeah, the training style can be for everybody, but it's not for everybody. Like
yeah,
essentially,
right. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
like it's something that everybody should be doing and should at least incorporate with their traditional lifts and their traditional gym routine, because it's the most accurate like style of training that you're going to get catered towards real life as well. There's no other piece of
Yeah,
real equipment than sandbags. I mean, it's hoisting a 200-pound sandbag onto your shoulder, or even just picking it up off the ground, is the most accurate way of you picking up someone, if it's like God forbid that you care about has fallen onto the ground. You want to have to be able to pick them up off the ground with all that dead weight. So the
right.
sandbags are the
Yeah,
most accurate version of that.
I agree 100%. Yeah, there's nothing that feels like picking up a sandbag until you
Agreed.
use a sandbag and you realize everything sandbag makes you good at picking up everything that doesn't feel like picking up a sandbag. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Like they
no,
carry over really well.
makes total sense. Because when
Once you try it, it'll make sense if you've never tried it.
it's actually I kind of, I don't know, you can kind of see them behind me.
I see the
Yeah.
top. Yeah.
Yeah, I got my 250 over here, I got my 100, my 200, and then right back over here I have my 150. This is when I went to the Strength Factory for the first time, not for the first time. This is actually, I want to say, the third time I went down is when we finally got involved with the sandbags.
Mm.
And in my head, I was always a fairly strong guy. I was always able to deadlift over 400 pounds, no problem.
Mhm.
Trying to go pick up a 200-pound sandbag right off the rip. I
Yeah.
was humbled. I
Yeah,
was
it's really rude
immediately
when you
humbled.
first try. Yeah, it's really, really rude when you first try. And
Yeah.
then when you try to shoulder it and you can't like twist yourself to like get it onto your shoulder,
Hmm.
that's its own thing too. Yeah, the sandbag, I think more than any other tool. Maybe the mace is close. Like the sandbag really humbles people.
Yeah. Oh, and the
But I
mace
think
in
the mace,
particular, yeah.
yeah,
It's a
the mace like
different type
humbles
of
you in a
humbling.
different way. Yeah, exactly. Like the mace is like you just don't know what the fuck you're doing.
Yeah, it's more like it's the most awkward version of weight because it's this giant ball of weight that's at the end of a stick, and you have to try to
Yeah,
balance that while you're also swinging it around and maintaining control. You know,
yeah,
that's one of the reasons why I love it because it's a very challenging tool to use, but it also makes your whole body work. Like I never been just one to focus on just like one muscle grouping. Like I want my whole body to do what it's supposed to do. And the mace and the
definitely.
clubs, kettlebells, sandbags, landmines, it's a perfect tool to incorporate with everyday lifts or just do on its own.
Yeah.
Uh,
I also just find them fun. Like
yeah,
I find it all like I use barbells all the time. Like I'll if you go on my page, like you'll see me do like clean and jerks and bench press and squats and deadlifts and
yeah.
stuff.
Excuse me.
Um,
Pause on a second on that one. You got some of the heaviest barbell work that I've seen, just casually repping it out nonstop. What's your PRs right now on clean and jerk and what's your? I need to know.
so
I wanted to ask you when I saw you in person, but I forgot to ask.
it's weird right now. Like I'm sure you've noticed from when we even last saw each other, I'm like on an insanely heavy deficit.
Yeah.
Like yeah, I've lost like 20 pounds. So everything feels really heavy
Congratulations,
right
dude.
now. Thank you. I
Congratulations.
appreciate it. Yeah, I'm down like 20. I appreciate it. I competed on a strongman show in the over like 231 category, and I'm like done with it. I'm like ready to stay at my 200-pound life now. So on the bar, I haven't tested, but I know for a fact that I can clean and jerk 270 right now.
Jesus
I
fuck.
know that I can snatch 220, 225, and this is off of powers. I haven't been training with the squat lately. Yeah, that's what you're asking, right? So I guess yeah, the clean and jerk and the snatch, those are my two lifts. Deadlift,
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't maxed out on a deadlift in a while, nor on snatch. I've been doing a lot of volume work. So like instead of like 270 for a single, like with a belt and lifters and everything. Right now, I would rather do like 250 or 260 for like a clean and jerk, a clean single, and then like two sandbag shoulder squats like every 2 minutes. That's like a workout that I did on Sunday. So like a clean and jerk at 250, 260, and then drop that bar and then go over to the 275 to 280-pound sandbag, shoulder it, and then do two squats. Like that's kind of how I'm training right now.
270, 280. So for those that don't understand, just casually saying I'm going to shoulder 270 and 280, that's fucking heavy as shit.
I appreciate that.
Trying to get the 250 up is still war for me at the end of the day. Like this is,
Yeah,
I get
it's a
rough
big
for a little
bag.
bit, but going for 280, yeah, yeah, no, it's. I even I tried the 300 at my gym. I still can't get it. Yeah, it's
the the 300 was a battle for me. Like getting to the point where I could shoulder 300 it was like a 7-8 month journey for me. And I remember the first time I hit it, just like being ecstatic.
dude, the day that I have just even the bag up and I'm holding it above my head, or I'm not above my head, I'm
I was like,
holding
wow,
it just
that's
up.
that's
No, no, no,
impressive.
no, 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 no. You know, the day that I'm able to just pick up the 300-pound bag and just walk around
Yeah,
with it a little bit, I'll feel very accomplished. I'll feel very, very accomplished that day. Everything else, like
yeah,
for the most part, I've gotten, decent amount of weight in with the sandbags in, but like just to be able to pick up the 300 is the next goal for that route. Uh,
yeah.
so little bit, we were talking briefly about the maces, and I dropped a little hint in the beginning of this. Another reason why we hopped on this call was so that we can talk a little bit more about, in detail, about the next Macefit certification that I had the honor of hosting over at 720 Strength.
Mhm.
We talked about it briefly when I was over there when we were doing the certification for the landmine, and we touched base here and there. Originally, we were supposed to do it in June, but personally, we both think that it's a better opportunity to not only just market it better if we push it to July. So, with that being said, on July 13th, on a Sunday,
Yep.
from 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock, total of 6 hours with a decent break in between the 3 hour break that we're going to have. Well, 3 hours of work and then a break and then 3 hours of extra work. Everyone will be earning their certifications that day as well. If you are able to accomplish such tasks such as the 360 and being able to teach the 360 grave diggers. You guys are going to learn all these different mace movements that you had to basically the horror of watching me in the beginning when I didn't know anything and I was learning myself. You guys will not have to worry about that, and you guys will actually be able to learn from people who have been doing this for years, and actually get a chance to learn alongside people who have also just a little more familiar with the mace work, so you guys won't feel as lost. It's another reason why I feel very comfortable with hosting it at 720, because you guys have a familiarity with it, and you
Mhm.
guys have your set of maces. I'll bring mine, obviously, I'll bring my extra ones, but you guys also have the space, and I also just appreciate the vibe and the energy there. So,
Mhm.
for those who are ever interested, I'll be posting a link down below in the YouTube description, and then also I'll be posting the link as well on Instagram that you guys can sign up for. There will be a early bird 10% off special for the first 3 weeks. After that, we will be going up to regular pricing. If you guys have any questions about pricing, or if you guys have any troubles with pricing also as well, I come from a very middle income background. Believe me, I fully understand what it's like to struggle but want to advance your career. I am all for helping out those who are really interested in learning about the mace and the club. So by all means, come down to 720 strength. Jesus Christ, these people! I forgot to mute my damn laptop. Come down, come down to 720 strength on June. I'm
13th,
gonna, I swear, on
July
July,
13th,
on
right?
July.
Yeah.
Let me restart over so I have that
Yeah.
prepared and ready to go. So July 13th on a Sunday. Come down 12 to 6 o'clock. It's going to be a good time. I'm not going to be treating this like a 6 hour workout. Believe me, it's not going to be a total 6 hours of working out, even though that sounds like a great party. I want you guys to have fun, and we're going to also learn a lot about the mace and why this tool is such an important tool to be incorporating with traditional lifting. But also, if you guys have any athletes, or if you're just somebody who wants to get familiar with this mace, this is the best opportunity to get one-on-one with me and to really expand your knowledge behind maces and
Mhm.
clubs. All right. So now that we got all the business out of the way, uh, I wanted to talk more about the background that you have. Because it doesn't just happen overnight that somebody wants to open up their gym. What
Yeah.
inspired you to open up your facility?
So it's a pretty crazy story. So I went to a school called Georgetown University in Washington, D.C. When I graduated, I was working for a tech company, and I realized pretty quickly. So I'm, like I said, I'm 28. When I graduated, I graduated right before the pandemic started, and then I was in the workforce, and the pandemic started, and I was doing work, stressed out with everything going on. And I realized, I was like, wait, this is not working for me. Talking about this whole thing again, it wasn't working for me. So I ended up leaving just for a lot of reasons. And what happened was, when I quit, obviously all my money went away that I was making. Luckily, I was living with my wife, who was a teacher. And at the time, she was my girlfriend, my wife now, who was a teacher. She was able to support us as I was getting back onto my feet. What she noticed was, as I was getting back onto my feet, I started tutoring people, but also I was working out every day. I was doing kettlebells,
Mm,
running, biking, jump rope, whatever it may be, sort of how I train now, but just it was the pandemic and there was nothing to do and I didn't have a job. So we're talking 2 or 3 hours of work. And so for my birthday, I think 5 years ago now, officially, she purchased my RKC1. So the kettlebell, the hard style
yeah, yeah,
kettlebell certification.
yeah.
And I trained super hard for it, passed it in Chicago. And I had taken on a few clients. One of them is my co-owner now. I didn't know that would be the case. But I took on 5 clients unpaid, just was programming for them. And what I noticed was, I was like, hey, I'm kind of good at this. I like doing this. I'm
But you,
decently
you did it
strong.
totally free.
Yeah, at the start. Yeah. And then as I got more experience, I started training them.
I love to hear that, dude. I'm sorry to cut
Charging.
you off, man,
Yeah,
but
you're good. You're
I
good.
fucking love hearing when trainers genuinely start off with the free game first,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
that
yeah.
shows the passion. That shows that you just want people to learn from you. You want people to hear your
Yeah.
voice. You want people to understand your craft. Did it for 2 years in the beginning while I was also working for Planet Fitness overnight, and I had a stable income while also giving people the free game as well.
Yeah. You
So
have
believe
to.
me,
I mean,
I
you
love it.
don't get a
I
client
love it.
base when you start. When people are like, "What are your results?" You're like, "I have none." you
It's
know. So what happened was after that, once I got my RKC, I would had also applied to grad school, and one of them was in New York, New York University. That's where I ended up going for
Okay.
education, something like that. And once the vaccines came out and everybody started opening up and everything like that again, they told me that to continue my education, I had to move to New York. Luckily, I mean, it was a short notice, but my wife's mom lives in the Bronx. So what happened was I moved to New York. I was studying, I was training people on the side at a gym called Concrete Jungle, which is like, it's sadly, it's no longer open, but it's a gym in the Bronx.
Mm.
And I got classes there. I ended up realizing that I loved it, was balancing between being a barista, going down to Brooklyn to go study, and then being a coach at Concrete Jungle in the morning or sometimes at night. What I realized was I ended up, this is like years now we're talking, I ended up loving training more than I liked what I was studying. So I ended up deciding to make the hard decision with like barely any credits left to do to go training full time. So once I started training full time, I started building up a client list. Didn't work the first time, had to become a teacher. That worked out, ended up getting a ton of clients on the side again to the point where I was making good money, went into training full time, ended up getting a ton of clients for whatever reason. It just worked out that time. Had a few marquee clients. One of them is a broker. One of them was like, hey, I'm tired of traveling to the Bronx to train with you. I have a spot on the Lower East Side. And then the rest is history. There's like a ton of context in between there and like a bunch of stuff that happened. But for the sake of making this an entertaining platform, I'm not going to go into the whole thing because stories could take too long to tell. But yeah, that's like the general gist of it. It was like a series of very fortunate and lucky coincidences that happened at once.
Dude, that's fucking awesome. Like the fact that also it's someone who also like who appreciated your vision enough to then say like, listen, I don't want to travel all the way out there. Please come down over here, make
Yeah.
some extra money. Let's go over down to this side.
Yeah. One of the things I've realized is when you're a trainer, so like money, I mean, as you know, it's not always like coming fast. Like I
Mm.
think people think that training is like the easiest job on earth. And maybe, I don't know, but there are times where
Well,
trading is really, really hard, not only emotionally, physically, mentally, whatever it may
yeah.
be. When you get clients like that that are willing to like really work with you, you've got to lean in like all the way. Yeah. Those are the ones
Hmm.
that you'll have for the rest of your life, probably. And I still work with him and it's been years. So
I'll tell you, I can also relate to that. I have one clientele, one client. Actually no, I'd say now I have a good three clients that I've been working with for at least 4 years straight.
mhm, mhm.
One of them is also a very well-off man, owns his own business, all that stuff. One day he pitched me the idea of saying, how much would it be for you to come live at the property and to then also train me, but then, look after the house and all that stuff? Shits and gigs, I said, 140K a year.
It's pretty good. He said
And
yes, he did it.
he was like, let me talk to my wife about it. It sounds like a good idea. It sounds like a good number. I
Okay.
was like, wait, what? I was like, huh?
Yeah, yeah, you get clients like that. Yeah, they will. They'll do stuff like that for you. It's
Yeah,
pretty
when I
crazy.
tell you,
Yeah.
it blows my fucking mind because when people tell me like, oh, you're never gonna make any real money training and everything else, you need to have your own facility also. It's like,
Yeah.
I mean, I've done fairly well. I'm not gonna say that I'm making the most money, but I've also made the most money as a trainer in my career, at least within,
Yeah.
the last 7 years of me doing this. And then bouncing back from COVID after, really
Mhm.
it's like, taking the opportunity to expand my certifications during that time instead of just sitting on my ass and waiting for everything else to open up. And
Yeah.
you know,
True.
took some people to the park to train for free so I can keep sharpening up my craft. Once the gyms reopened up, I was back to giving the free sessions over in the overnights and just telling people what to do because I wanted to practice how I talk to people. I wanted to
Mhm.
practice how I communicated my language with training, making sure that people understood what I was saying and I wasn't just reading from the textbook.
Mhm.
There's a lot when it came down to the beginning of this field when I related it heavy because what you were saying before about the giving and giving and giving and giving. There's so many people who just lack that ability to give. They just want to
Mhm.
continuously make immediately. They come into the field thinking that it is going to be a money grab because they can work
Yeah.
out all day long. They can hang out in the gym all day long. Well, if you can train yourself, that's great, but you can't but can you train someone who is completely half the body that you are and is maybe also even completely older or younger?
Yeah.
Can you
Younger.
continue
Yeah.
your training? Can you teach them how to do it when they're younger? Can you teach them how
Can
to
you
do it when
connect
they're
with
older?
different emotional states, right? Like for me, if I'm working out with somebody and they're like, "That's all you got? That's all you got?" I'm like, "No, I got more," right? But you do that to the wrong person, you'll make them cry, right? You yell at somebody to motivate them and they cry or they don't handle it well or they don't come back, right? Like being a trainer, and this is kind of getting to your point about people like, "Oh, you'll never make money." It's a it's a dance, right? You have to have knowledge. You have to be good at sales. You have to be able to connect with people emotionally, empathetically, and you also need to know how to like parse things from yourself, right? Like you're a trainer. You'll sometimes hear like extremely emotionally heavy things from your clients,
Daily,
and then like yeah,
daily,
daily, right? Daily,
daily,
and then you
daily.
you take that in. You take that in. Who knows what's happening in your life, by the way? You take that in, and then you have to go to the next client who may or may not have a good attitude, or may not have another traumatic thing to share with you, right? Especially when you're early on and you can't parse your clients as well. And so you have to be able to maintain your sales repertoire, be able to navigate around that, navigate around emotional states, navigate around different age brackets, right? Like sometimes I'll
Hmm.
be training a 15-year-old, sometimes I'll be training an 86-year-old. The way that I have to talk to them is different because they just have different life experiences or different things. And that's part of the issue with it. I was going to say, I think part of the reason why people look down on training is because they look at it at a very surface level, right? They only think, oh, you can do a bench press heavy, you'd be a good trainer. But that's not the case. I would actually say some of the best trainers that I've met, just like watching them in their craft, are people that are like, and all love to them, I would say are like not particularly strong, right? Like people that know how to do the movements, are decently strong, but just like jacks of all trades. Maybe they can swim or run, or they've just learned all of these different crafts and can communicate with people and connect with people. And sometimes those are better trainers than ones who can deadlift 700. It's a very weird craft. It's like a very skill artisanal craft that I think doesn't get the respect it deserves.
It is. At the end of the day, it's very much more personality than it is knowledge because I've seen some of the most
Yeah, for better or
brainiacs
for
of
worse. For
brainiacs.
better or for
Yeah,
worse. Yeah.
I've seen brainiacs and brainiacs and brainiacs constantly coming in and out, and then also people who have competed themselves on stage or have competed in a strongman themselves, and it's just like
Hmm.
that's all great, but what's the point of you coming into this career? Like, are you doing it
Right.
for the money or are you doing it for the impact? At the end of the day, I joined this industry because I wanted to create the impact. I left a career of pursuing law enforcement, the stable route of pursuing a career where one, you have to put your life on the line, and then also
Mhm.
you have to deal with people on their good and their bad days. And you also, it's great for a pension. It's phenomenal, but also it's really, in my personal experience, well, also with having the background I have between being a military police officer and then doing a little bit of police work every now and then, it's not the field that I loved and I thought I was going to love. This is a field where I generally walk into my gym anywhere between 5 and 6 o'clock in the morning, and if I gotta stay until 5 to 6 o'clock at night, I don't think twice because I
Yeah,
actually
right. It's a part of the job. Yeah, you just do it. You're like, let's go.
I love my environment. I love the
Right.
people that I work around with. I love my clientele. I love what I do. And the fact that I'm also making money off of doing that in the same time, that's great. Now, how can I scale this upward in other ways so this way I can continuously keep doing it? Well, then now we have the online route. We have the
Hmm.
online route where guess what? If you want to work with me, but you live all the way in California or you live in Florida or hell, if you live in New York City and I'm out here on Long Island, and you just want someone to virtually keep you in check if you're not anywhere close to 720, which you should be at 720 strength if you're there.
Yeah, he's right.
If you're there, but if you're nowhere near there, but if you have your own little home gym that you can experience with, obviously, if you look behind me, I have my own little home gym, so I know exactly what people are dealing with when it comes down to their lack of equipment. This didn't just happen overnight either. This is the years of accumulating everything that I have around my basement. I can
Hmm.
work with whatever. It doesn't matter if you just have a couple of dumbbells. It doesn't matter if you have some kettlebells. It doesn't matter if you have if you have everything. You have a whole total home gym. That's phenomenal. That's great. But you really don't need a lot. So that's why when I tell people, like, if they're really looking to be having someone to hold them accountable for online, hello, I'm right there because I also was right there in your shoes when I had no equipment and no money for a membership. So
Hmm.
it's it's tough. It's tough, but also this industry is very rewarding at the end of the day. It's one of the most
Yeah, it
rewarding
is.
industries because when you have, especially because you train someone who's older as well. I have my client Betty Ann, I've been working with for 4 years. She started with me when she was 68 years old, and she had not stepped foot in the gym for 50 years. So by the time she was 18 to 68 years old, she did not step foot into a gym. Uh, that was my very first challenge, was dealing with someone like that. 4 years later, now we're pushing a 220-pound tire.
Yeah, stuff like that. That's like what makes the
72 years
difference.
old.
Yeah, one of the coolest things is it's cool, but it can be annoying sometimes. It's like when you've been working with people for a while or they've been using your system for a while, people get like strength dysmorphia, like in some ways. Like
Yeah.
people be like, oh man, like I'm just not making progress. Be like, dude, like you don't even realize it. Like you're doing like sets of like 8 pull-ups now. And like when we started this block, you're doing like 2. And people, they just get so in their head about progress and stuff. But when you as a trainer see it, you're like, wow, like they're not worried about getting their first pull-up. They're worried about the fact that they haven't broken 10. You get to step back and you get to see all of the progress that they've made. And again, it can be difficult, but it can also be very rewarding when you step back and realize, wow, that client has gained 10 pounds after they were having issues with weight gain, right? Or they've lost 20 pounds because they're having issues with having too much weight on them. Or, they wanted to deadlift 500 and thanks to the programming, they deadlifted 500, right? Those are all very rewarding experiences. And I think that honestly, this is kind of like a bigger appeal that I'm making, I guess, is there should be more positivity in the space. I feel like right now everything is very, here's like the 10 optimal ways that you can do it. If you don't do the bench press this way, like you should feel sorry for existing. Right. And
Yeah.
I think that like, sometimes
there is a lot of toxic energy within this field.
Yeah, there is. Yeah. And sometimes that energy is like helpful, right? Like sometimes people just need to know that like, doing whatever, I don't know, like a banded Bosu ball, like triple extension, tricep curl. I don't even know what that would be, but like, isn't going to like progress them to getting like a 600-pound deadlift or something. But once you get past that, I find that energy just becomes so negative and it turns people away. I've had a lot of people who I've told like, just unfollow like everybody that you follow on Instagram, all of these accounts, just unfollow them. You have too much information. Just listen to like 2 or 3 people. You'll go further. Honestly, I guess that's another thing is in the fitness game, like the more people you follow, the more diluted your information gets, the worse you do. Even if you don't have an optimal training system, if you just try really hard on your suboptimal training system, you will do better than somebody that puts in piss effort in an optimal system.
The cookie cutter programs, dude. The fucking cookie cutter programs. The one program for all. Like that's another reason why when people click on my Instagram, there's 2 different links that I have. I have obviously the link tree that links to all the other companies I'm associated with and all the supplements, all that shit. But then also there's the link that's to my online programs. Now, when people purchase it, they automatically will see a blank calendar. Yeah, because it's a personalized program. Meaning we're going to sit on Zoom one-on-one and we're going to go through your entire program and plan out your month. Not have a program for you to purchase that will be the same exact program that you buy.
Like no matter what, like a 531 or something. Yeah.
No, like my client Bree, who is an all-star beast, who has time to sit in the gym and really crank out shit. Like, yeah, she is somebody that I fucking is one example. Yeah, but then there's other people that I can't give the same exact program I gave her. I can't give to Betty Ann.
Right. Yeah. Or even sometimes like it just doesn't feel good doing that. Like even if I have like a client that could handle the same program as like another person, like at the end of the day, this is what you're talking about, the money grab thing. People are paying you for a service. Like, and they pay a lot of money. Like I don't charge a little amount. Like I charge a pretty good amount, right? And when people are paying me, yeah, exactly. Yeah, to survive. It's true. People are paying me a good amount of money. They're expecting a quality service that's dedicated to them. Just because I have a program that would work for somebody and probably will work well, I should still, on ethics, on principle, put in the effort to give them a program that's more catered to them, right? Like, let's say I have a program that has stiff leg deadlifts. One of my clients hates it. He could benefit from it. I could probably meet him somewhere in the middle and customize it more for him. That's not to say don't be efficient with your time, right? Like I'll have templates. I'll have like ideas and things that are paired out that I'll pull out and then give to somebody and then adjust it for them after the fact. That's just being efficient. Yeah, but I feel like it's super important to make people feel cared about, feel important, right? Like right now we're going through a time where everybody feels like, I don't know, there's just a lot of disarray. And so whenever I work with people, one of my number 1 priorities is to make them feel better about themselves.
And as a trainer, that's what it should be no matter what. You never want a client to leave feeling worse about themselves. You never want a client to leave feeling like, well, damn, I don't know why I'm even wasting my time doing this if they're all going to be doing is making me feel like shit. Like
right. Yeah.
There's a difference between coaching hard and making them feel like shit. Coaching hard is something that where, yeah, we're going to tread some water a little bit, and I may say something that may push a little further, but I'm not going to make you feel like you're a weak piece of shit. I'm not going to make you
Right.
feel like you're somebody that can't do this. I'm always the one to push my clients for the heavier stuff. It's the reason why I got my client Betty Ann, who's 72, pushing a 220-pound tire on
Retire.
his turf. I'm not somebody who is just going to let the age immediately judge them off of their strength. If someone's still
Hmm.
strong enough to do what they can do in their 50s and as they can do in their 60s and then into their 70s, that's great. I'm not looking to make them obviously PR and deadlift 2, 3, 4, 500 pounds and all that stuff. No, I'm catering towards what are they going to do in their life. In Betty Ann's case, she's going to be moving furniture, so she's got to be pushing couches. She's got to push the
Hmm.
bed. What's the easiest way to cater around that? Pushing the freaking tire. That's pretty heavy. There's a lot that comes to this industry where it's listening to your clientele's needs physically, but then especially mentally as well. When you really
Hmm.
are able to tap in and listen with the intent to understand and not with the intent to just reply and blow them off and then just move on to the next clientele, it shows how much you truly are passionate and caring with this industry and also how much you really want to see the best results in them, not for just
Hmm.
taking their money. In this industry, it's overly saturated with a bunch of money grabbers. It's overly saturated with a bunch of AI tactics. It's overly saturated
Hmm.
with a bunch of con artists that just say one thing but then shoot themselves up with another. And to have
Hmm.
someone like yourself to hear all this authenticity come through as well just makes it even feel better about the fact that what we're doing in July, because you got
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the
I'm
authentic.
excited.
It's gonna be a great day, but like I'm very happy you got a chance to meet someone like yourself who's also in the city because if I know people who are out in the city, but I actually have trained in the past clientele who work all the way out east but live out in Manhattan.
Hmm.
So we do similar work. I'll be more than happy to tell people like, listen, if you can't make it to my gym, get down to over here. You're gonna get even just more quality work in the best environment because sometimes my gym can get very crowded and we don't necessarily get to everything that we would like to get to. Like it's a public facility. It's like
Hmm.
it's basically uh the local Gold's Gym. But
Mm.
to like
Hmm.
it's family owned and operated. So that's why I love working for them.
That's cool. Yeah, that's awesome.
To have a company that's doing as great as they're doing, that's family owned and operated, I'm all about getting behind. But one of the other reasons why I wanted to have you on was I wanted to hear a little bit more. We got a couple minutes left where I got
Hmm.
before this thing splits off. But what's one of the goals that you have truly for yourself and for your business and what you would like to do?
So is that one question like goal I have for myself, or is it like for myself, for my business, what I want to do?
Yeah, both. Yes.
Okay. So my first one is I want to, in 1 week, ski a marathon, row a marathon, bike a centennial, and then run a marathon in 1 week. That's part of the reason why I've dropped all of the weight. And like, if you look
Holy
at my
shit.
training right now, like, yeah, I'm still lifting and stuff like that, but like, you'll see, like, I'll do like an hour, 3 hours on the
Yeah,
ski,
no, you're doing
two
a lot
hours on
more
the rower.
conditioning work.
Yeah, I'm doing a ton of conditioning. Like after this, I'm going to go bike now that my washer's fixed and everything. That's like a goal that I have. And it's going to be in November. I want it to be in November that I do that big week. And I want it to be sub 3 on all of them, except for the Centennial. That'll have to be like 6:30.
Yeah,
But
that's it's
yeah,
sub
Centennial's
three.
100 miles. I can't do that in under 3. I don't think anybody can. So that's one goal that I have for myself, right? I want to dedicate myself to it. I want to do it. I want to do a high rocks too. But I figure if I can do all that, I can do a high rocks.
Yeah,
So that's
easy.
one thing that I have for my business. I would say so. What I do is I set micro goals for myself. I've talked about it before on my Instagram. Like I'll be like, oh, May is like the month of like communicate better. April is a month of communicate early, right? So I try to make it simple. Right
Yeah.
now, my June goal is do it together. So what happens is, and this might happen to you, like when I get busy or like when I have a lot to do, I go like head down. Like I'm like, I don't need help. I'm just gonna do it. And then what I forget to reach out to people. Like not even like
Fucking
being rude.
relatable.
Not yeah, exactly. Not even being rude, not like ignoring people, but like I'm just like so focused that I just like don't think that I can do stuff with other people. It just like doesn't occur to me. So my June goal, like I've had more trainers over, I've had more classes going on. I have certifications that we're organizing. I'm reaching out to people. I'm trying to communicate and connect because what I realize is I'm pretty damn good at doing stuff, but I'd be better at doing stuff if I had more people doing stuff with me. So
A
that's
good
that's
quality
my goal.
team.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Or just like people in my periphery, right? Just like people that I can always rely on and count on. So yeah, like a team. So that's my gym goal. And then I think what was the last one? Or was it two questions? It was
Yeah,
what I want to do, and then what the
it was
business is.
just two
And
questions, but
then
is there any other
and then
goals that you really have in mind for yourself?
yeah, third one is it happened last year. I would like to keep growing into summer. So usually gyms like they go through, as you know, like a dark time,
Oh
right? Like
yeah.
where it's like summertime and everybody leaves, and we're
Late
expecting that to
July to
yeah,
mid-September is the deepest swing in the industry. Doing this now 7 years, and I've calculated this over the last 2 years. Mid-July from like the 21st, like 21st, till right about the second week of September is where you
everybody's
got
out.
everybody taking their fucking vacations.
Which is cool. But
I'd be doing the
it
same thing.
happened to us last year. Yeah, of course you should deserve it. My wife is doing it too. My goal is to grow. So last year we actually grew in that time block. There's
Mm.
something about our gym I think that just appeals to people that don't go on traveling a lot.
It's
But
different, dude. It's different. You're standing out. That's what the
yeah,
biggest thing in that industry and the
so
biggest thing
that's my
in your
goal.
area, you're standing out. Like in the whole New York City area, your gym is one of the only gyms that's doing exactly what they should be doing with their clientele, in my personal opinion, with the way that you are training out over there and the way you're promoting
Mm,
yourself and the way you're giving back to the community. I love it all, dude. Like it's
I appreciate
genuinely,
it.
it genuinely makes me feel even better about this next experiment that we're going to be doing with going down to my, this isn't my second time hosting a
Mm.
certification, but it's my first time hosting one that's not my home gym. So
Ah,
with that being said now, real quick, talk about your Instagram, where they can find you, how they can
oh
book
sure.
you, and
Yeah.
we'll wrap this thing up real quick.
At 720 Emilio is my Instagram. If you want to work with me, I think I might have a slot or two. I don't know. But if you want to work with me or just hang out at the gym, if you want to work out at the gym, just message me directly. It's easier that way. We're a small enough gym that you can just reach out to me. So yeah, 720 Emilio, reach out to me. I'll see you there.
And your gym has an Instagram page, correct?
Yeah, 720 Strength Lower East.
Awesome. Brother man, this has been a real solid conversation,
Yeah,
getting a chance to really know a little bit more about yourself. I'm definitely gonna have you back on again in person, and I'm
let's do it.
definitely gonna bring down the equipment and do something in person the day of the certification as well before we get things going, because your story and everything else, we only got a little taste of it, and I appreciate everything that you got, man. And the next time that we do talk, there won't be like a time limit on everything else. Doors open, like hinged, whatever the hell you want to talk about, for as long as you want to talk. It's the longest story. Trust me, when it comes down to this game, this podcast thing, there's people that will listen.
Sure, let's do it, man. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to it too. And again, once again, guys, if you are interested in signing up for the Macefit Level 1 certification over at 720 Strength in Manhattan, link will be down below in the description. And then if you guys have any questions, shoot me a DM in regarding the certification, in regarding 720 strength, shoot Emilio a DM, and we'll be in touch with you guys very soon. And brother man, again, thank you very much for the conversation. This has been a great time.
Thank you, my friend. I'll see you later. Okay.
I'll see you later. Looking forward to the next one.
Bye bye.